Class is dismissed, boys and girls. You're in. Let's go!
Previously on the YTV Retrospective.
Looks neat. And I'm Phil, and I got the 411 on video games, animation, and motor oil.
Check this out. Everybody. Check it out.
Today is going to be an interesting one. For this, we may need to look at one company in particular. A company that was for a while so cheap that it gave Hanna-Barbera a run for its money. The reused animation juggernaut that was Filmation. Filmation began in 1957 as Norm Prescott, Lou Scheimer, and former Disney animator Hal Sutherland were looking to bring a deal to a small comic book studio called DC Comics. They wanted to get the license to create a show for Superman. It was greenlit. The kicker was that they did not have an animation studio. They called everyone they knew to get the money, and thus Filmation was created to produce cheap superhero shows like The New Adventures of Superman, and was a success. DC would be a great client of theirs, until Hanna-Barbera would work with them on Super Friends. But Filmation around the 60s and 70s had a solid library of shows, both live action and animated by that point. Shazam, the Archies, the Ghostbusters. Not those ones, these ones were first, but didn't last the longest. Fat Albert and the Cosby Kids, Star Trek the Animated Series, and that one time they had Tom and Jerry. In 1981, a brand new toy line was created by Mattel, and the story of the series was created by Filmation. This series was pitched to ABC, however, it was rejected. This show premiered in broadcast syndication in September of 1983, and it changed Saturday morning cartoons forever. This was He-Man and the Masters of the Universe.
He-Man and the Masters of the Universe.
This is the tale of Prince Adam, the Prince of Eternia, along with his allies the Sorceress, the human weapon Man-at-Arms, his battle cat Cringer, and Orko. They would fight the evil forces of Skeletor to take control of the power of Castle Greyskull. For Prince Adam, he can use his Sword of Power to call upon the power of Greyskull.
By the power of Greyskull.
And become He-Man. What originally started out as a cheap action series with recycled animation over and over again, became one of the highest-selling toy lines of the 80s. It was a show that was controversial for a few reasons. One was, at the time, creating shows based on toy lines was unheard of.
What do we have here?
It's Castle Greyskull. And it's mine. Not so fast, Beastman. He-Man!
You can pit He-Man against Beastman playing for the power of Castle Greyskull. You have to put the castle together.
Beastman's escaping.
What's wrong, Dad? Dad, you saved the castle!
Castle Greyskull from the Masters of the Universe collection.
But this show opened up the floodgates to the likes of the Transformers, G.I. Joe, My Little Pony, and so many more. It was one of the first cartoons since Thundar the Barbarian, where a muscular man would be able to punch his foes without it being censored. Although, this show was seen as a controversy for a few reasons. One, the violence of course, and two, that many people perceived the combat as homoeroticism, and strong gay overtones. Yeah, I can't talk about He-Man without this meme, am I right? Although, nowadays, the franchise seems to be embracing these gay overtones a lot more, which is a nice change of pace.
He-Man and Skeletor, your so money supermarket.
A few years later, Filmation would create a spin-off series called She-Ra, Princess of Power, about Prince Adam's sister, Princess Adora, as she protects the Crystal Castle from the evil forces of the Horde and their leader Hordak. There would be a compilation movie made called He-Man and She-Ra, The Secret of the Sword, and a live-action movie starring Ivan Drago himself, Dolph Lundgren. YTV would air both He-Man and She-Ra on its schedule in the channel's first 4 years. In 1985, He-Man and She-Ra would team up again in an hour-long Christmas special. YTV would also air this as well, on the Friday night anime blog Bionics, In 2008? Definitely an odd spot for it.
Well, I don't like to feel good. I like to feel evil. Oh.
In 1989, Filmation would be defunct after 2 movie attempts that tried to capitalize on previous Disney movies, Pinocchio and the Emperor of the Night, and Happily Ever After. Though today's topic comes to us from the year 2002, after a 12-year hiatus since 1990's The New Adventures of He-Man. As a result of a nostalgia boom at the dawn of the new millennium, alongside the likes of Transformers Armada and the 4Kids-produced Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Mattel would bring the franchise back with He-Man and the Masters of the Universe 2002. On the planet Eternia, the land is split into 2 hemispheres of light and dark. This series follows Prince Adam, voiced by Cam Clark, who in this incarnation is spoiled, carefree, and always quick with the witty banner.
Tila will do it. She'll make a great princess.
Damsel in distress, I am not.
Okay, not the princess.
Unbeknownst to him on his birthday, Eternia's past would soon haunt him, as Keldor would come back to invade Eternia as a new threat.
And the name is Skeletor.
Spoken in prophecy would be a warrior that would be powerful enough to defend the castle from the forces of evil. Prince Adam would emerge as the hero, and would transform into He-Man to protect the secrets of Castle Greyskull and Eternia from Skeletor. Many writers of the original series were brought onto this series, and would be the second and final series in the franchise to feature a Canadian cast, with the exception of Cam Clark, including the likes of Gary Chalk, who would voice Man-at-Arms.
What were you thinking, Tila? Your wounds need time to heal. You should be in bed.
Kathleen Barr as Evil Lynn.
By the forces of evil and magic unbound, let magmatites upon their heads rain down.
Paul Dobson as Manny Faces and Trapjaw.
Hey, what's that, Triclops?
Brian Dobson, who would voice Skeletor and King Hiss.
This day is turning out better than I'd expected.
And Scott McNeil as Beastman and Ram Man.
Hiya, Rammy. Mind if I try out some new moves on you?
You ain't gonna make me disappear, are ya? Last time it took me 3 days to find myself.
Michael Donovan, who voices King Randor and Roboto, will be the voice director of the series.
It ends here, Keldor.
The first to include a Canadian cast was The New Adventures of He-Man. The 2002 series was animated by Mike Young Productions, a 2D, 3D studio that was best known for the Butt Ugly Martians and Voltron the Third Dimension. But co-founder Mike Young's first work was the series Super Ted, which was one of the many kids series that would launch with the Welsh channel S4C. However, when Mike Young Productions was bought by Moonscoop to become Splash Entertainment, now they are known for Norm of the North and its sequels, and the Alpha and Omega sequels. Oh no.
No!
But here, the animation looks pretty good. Obviously a vast improvement from the original series, giving a more stylized look that would be fitting to shows in the early 2000s. This version of He-Man would last from 2002 to 2004, with 2 seasons and 39 episodes. The second season would be much shorter, with the title Masters of the Universe vs. the Snake Men. This would introduce the evil forces of the Snake Men, led by King Hiss, and would provide a more serialized approach despite the shorter 13-episode season. There were plans for a 3rd season, which would have introduced She-Ra and Hordak and the Evil Horde, but this never came to be. All 39 episodes would be released on DVD, courtesy of BCI Eclipse, but would be remade by Mill Creek Entertainment. Though the series in Toyline was over, the character designs were popular enough that Four Horsemen Studios released mini statues based on the series. After the series was canceled in 2004, there hasn't been anything Masters of the Universe related on TV for 16 years. However, in 2012, things would take an interesting turn. The franchise's owner, Classics Media, who also had the libraries of UPA, J Ward Productions, Big Idea Entertainment, and many more, were bought by an even bigger company. That was DreamWorks. And since then, they had many plans for revivals for these properties, including 2018's She-Ra and the Princesses of Power on Netflix. Then in 2021, Netflix would then stream Masters of the Universe Revelations, a more mature take on the series, developed by Kevin Smith of Clerks fame. Also that same year, another more kid-friendly 3D series appeared on Netflix, titled He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. Mattel would bring the older Masters of the Universe toys back with a revival line that is still seen today. It's sometimes cool to see an old property like He-Man and the Masters of the Universe get updated for a modern audience. Whether you love this iteration or not, it's nice to know there are those who will want to get the series out there for anyone to see, in hopes to create a new generation of fans, and keep this legend going. When we come back, we ask a simple question. What was junior high like in the eyes of a teen?
Next time on the YTV Retrospective.
Attention, students. Let's dance!
System crash Thursdays at 8:30.
Give it away on YTV.
Why?
Check this out.
Things change over time. Although you may not like it, there are those who do. It is wise to have an open mind when it comes to accepting change and respecting people's opinions.
YTV used to be the It channel, but then they changed what it was. What we were with isn't it anymore. And what it is now dumb, repetitive, and cringeworthy. And it will happen to you. Until we meet again.
You win, He-Man, but I'll be back.